Hi everyone, Arglefumph here with a speedrun for Awakening, the Dreamless Castle. I'm super excited about this speedrun. I've been working on it for over a month. I'm also really nervous about doing commentary for this speedrun, because I've got a lot to say and just not a whole lot of time to say it in. Okay, so here at the start, I'm going to get the fairy. I don't use her. I get the journal here. I don't use it. And I also get a tutorial, which I don't use. Now I'm going to do the disc puzzle. What you need to do is find all of the discs and put them on the trunk. And then you want to rotate the discs into place. The starting position of the discs is always the same, so it's really easy to memorize the solution. Now I look at the mirror to trigger hidden objects in the closet, then I quit my game. I'll be doing this with every hidden objects challenge in the game. Basically, hidden objects are random. The list of items you need to find is random. It changes every time you play the game. So whenever I get a hidden object scene, I immediately save and quit. That helps me bypass the randomness. Now you'll notice that every now and then we're getting text boxes like the fairy talks, or when you pick up an item you get a box that says, "This is an interesting item, you should put it in your inventory." Wait, let me talk about something else. These are color things, and this is the ideal solution to the puzzle. So the original starting location of the colors is randomized, and that is the ideal solution. It let me solve the puzzle in 3 moves. Normally it takes 5 moves. And me getting a really good time on the door puzzle is what saved this segment. Basically, I played this segment about 20 different times, and this was my fastest time just because of that puzzle. Just because of that one randomized puzzle. The bear puzzle is not randomized, so there's really no way to speed up that puzzle. This puzzle, really no way to speed up this puzzle either. This is a repeat the sequence puzzle. So you just repeat the randomly generated pattern, and we do this 3 times. And there's really no way to, save time on this puzzle since it's all random. Obviously, you'd be lucky if you got, say, blue 5 times in a row. That would make it slightly faster, but I'm not that lucky. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up a bunch of flowers, and you'll notice it takes about a second for an item to go from the screen to my inventory. Yeah, that animation takes about a second. So what I do in those situations is I finish with the item at the bottom of the screen. Here's a mess up. Made a minor mess up with this puzzle solution. Darn, that cost me about a second, but solving that color puzzle saved me about a second. And I am playing ahead of my commentary here. Okay, so what was I saying? Whenever there's a dialogue or a text box, as I was trying to say earlier, the in-game timer doesn't run whenever there's a text box there, and the speed of the speedrun is based on the in-game timer, not based on real time. So that's a fun little thing about this game, which makes it really different. This is the first time I've played a game, or first time I've tried to speedrun a game with an in-game timer. Okay, so here I'm going to do a save quit here. So look, I pick up an item and then quit. Because there's that second long animation. Whenever you pick up an item, there's the second of animation of the item going from the screen to your inventory. So when I quit in the middle of that animation, the game assumes I already have that item in my inventory and I don't have to watch it. That saves me a second. Granted, not a huge time saver, but it's a little time saver, and so I try to finish every segment on one of those save skips. Or, one of those, I don't know what it's called. Item skip, animation skip, something. This is a jigsaw puzzle. So with jigsaw puzzles, the starting location of every single jigsaw piece is just completely random, and that makes jigsaw puzzles a real pain. If you're lucky, the items are close. I mean, all the various jigsaw puzzle pieces are close to where they're supposed to go. Oh, and there's a hidden object challenge. Okay, and I was trying to say this earlier. On a screen where I need to find a bunch of different items, you want to finish with the items that are close to the bottom of the screen, because they have a shorter animation to get from the middle of the screen to the bottom of the screen at the inventory. Gonna do something similar here. When the items were going from the screen to the inventory, I was doing the hay puzzle. So that was a time saver. Another time saver, when the tiles were going to the inventory, I cut out of the screen and went over to this screen. So just minor, lots of minor time savers like that in this run. Basically, the run is mostly about optimization, especially with the inventory items, because you have that, you know, second between pretty much every single inventory item pick. So this is a jigsaw puzzle. The original item configuration, that is where all the pieces start off, is just randomized, like I was saying. So sometimes you're lucky and they're really close to where they're supposed to be, and other times you're not so lucky. This puzzle is not randomized. Solution is the same every single time. Starting pieces are the same every time. There's another example of me clicking out of a window before the items appear in my inventory, and I triggered the Hidden Objects challenge there. So here's a puzzle. You're supposed to see the solution at the water fountain, but if you know what the solution is ahead of time, you can just enter it. I am not good at this puzzle. This is a matching puzzle. What you need to do is find the two beans that match. I am awful at this. Sometimes I'm lucky and the match is over there on the left, and I get really quick on it. But basically, I think I must have done this segment like 30 times. Yeah, probably about 30 times, and this was my fastest speed. But yeah, matching puzzles, not my friend. This is a jigsaw puzzle. So you'll notice this particular jigsaw puzzle is friendly. All of the pieces are to the side, you know, whereas with the fairy one, all of the pieces were all over the board, and they were in places covering up the board, so you can't actually see the whole board. That's what makes the jigsaw puzzles really, really tricky. It's just random where the pieces appear, so sometimes they're great and they don't get in your way. Other times they are nothing but in your way, and they're just a huge pain. Okay, so Hidden Objects challenges there. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. That was actually pretty good. So this is a puzzle. I actually skipped the solution to this puzzle. You're supposed to see it in the bedroom with the bears, but I skipped it. Not this particular puzzle, but this particular puzzle, the color configuration. That gives a shield for the angel statue, and that gives us some angel tears. And here I'm giving that message to the bird, and I'm going to be planting. Basically what I'm doing is I'm solving the puzzle as intended, but I'm just doing it really, really quickly, and I save time by getting all the items ahead of time rather than getting them, you know, afterwards. So, basic Hidden Objects challenge, basic adventure game speedrun strategy. Get items before you know you need them. This is going to be the longest segment of the run, and this is probably going to be the best example of, say, randomized jigsaw puzzles. Yeah, I do really well with this. So you'll notice that it takes a long time to move something from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, or at least that takes longer than moving two pieces that are adjacent to each other. So what I tried to do with this puzzle, I don't know if it's obvious, but that upper left-hand piece, I tried to slowly move it up. I tried to slowly move it up rather than doing a huge gap, a huge jump for it to go all the way up. This puzzle is really nice. Oh man, it is usually not this nice. Basically what you do is you make matches, and if any of the butterflies are overlapping, that's a problem, because, you know, you've got three options. Number one, the game just says, hey, you didn't click there. Number two, the game clicks on the wrong butterfly. Number three, the game clicks on the right butterfly. So you've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting it correct if the two butterflies are overlapping. Okay, this is also a time saver I don't think I've mentioned so far. I'm gonna pull out the potion here. You know, pull it out when the screen is loading, or pull out an inventory item just to save times. That way you don't have to spend like the half second going back down getting the item. And, oh man, okay, so, this was a pain, just because it's a long segment. It's mostly just collecting items here at the very beginning. So a lot of inventory management here, in that, you know, I try to go to places while things are doing the animation of going into my inventory. So, like, for example, skipping the animation of the pot going down, what I did was I went right there. So I'm doing something while the animation is playing. And that's just overlapping two different things, saving me that 1 second. And I'll be doing that. I did that right there. You know, I was putting the pot in place while we had the animation of the veggies going. And this is another repeat the pattern puzzle. This and the other repeat the pattern puzzle is they're both nice. You know, if you make a mistake, you start from where you left off. Whereas every other repeat the pattern puzzle we'll see from here on out, it will send you backwards a step. So, for example, I have to match, what is it, four different items here. If I make a mistake, I have, oh, I'm finding 5 items. Woohoo. Or wait, no, I think that was 4. Anyway, I'm getting all tongue-tied. So basically, if I make a mistake on the 4-item thing, it will give me another 4-item sequence. Whereas every other puzzle, if I make a mistake on the 4-item thing, it sends me back to the 3-item thing. So with this particular puzzle and the other repeat the pattern puzzle, it's okay if you make a mistake. Obviously, it's faster if you don't make a mistake. But the other ones in the game are just not as forgiving, and it's a big time waster if you make a mistake. So that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're giving this goblin his food. Now we're gonna light this thing. And this room, you have to wait a second before the fairy says anything. I mean, she'll automatically say something, you know, in a second, so there's really nothing you can do there. Just wait a second for her to talk. Okay, put the tap there. You're supposed to solve a jigsaw puzzle to get this code, but I skipped that. And again, you know, I'm finding items while I'm finding items. You know, I'm using items while item animation is playing to save time, and now I go down here. Okay, now I get 10 Bulgan coins for this guy. Made a minor mistake there with the coin. I should have ended with the 1 coin, which was closer to the door on the bottom left part of the door. Wasn't that much of a time waster, because I finished on a coin which was really close to the bottom of the screen. But still, like I said, it's always ideal to end on the item which is closest to the inventory slot. So this puzzle has 5 different levels. As you can see, these puzzles are getting progressively harder as the game goes on. And you can see me moving my mouse around. It's basically me trying to remember the setup of the, where do these things go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm basically counting to myself in my head here. Alrighty, and now we're in the den, and I'm going to talk this guy and save quit. Save quit here, I believe. Basically, I had trouble, a lot of trouble saving in the den, this particular area. I think it's because of this cutscene here. Once I solve this puzzle, I get a cutscene. And so if you save at the wrong moment, it says, oh, you didn't watch the cutscene, and you'll be forced to do this entire puzzle again, because it thinks you didn't watch the cutscene. So that was kind of a pain. This puzzle went particularly well, you know. It's not the easiest puzzle. Basically, maybe that wasn't the perfect solution, but I had a really good thing on the matching, and as we've seen before, I am just horrible at matching. I just cannot do it. So that's probably the biggest room for improvement, is to instantly see the match and score the match as soon as possible. It's probably the biggest room for improvement in this run. Also, the one Jigsaw Puzzle in Segment 2 that I pointed out, which was kind of a minor mistake there. Okay, now we're gonna have Goblin Zhang, which is basically, Mahjong. Randomized. So, man, this puzzle is kind of a killer. I did rather well, obviously. If I did badly, I wouldn't have kept the segment as part of my speedrun. But it's really hard because, Mahjong is a puzzle where you're supposed to look and think at things and take your time, and I'm speedrunning it, so I can't take my time. Now I'm going to sweep up here for a key. I'm going to grab a mace. I'm going to solve the face puzzle. You're supposed to look at the piece of paper that the goblin left on his desk, but you could skip it, so I skipped it. That's what gives you the solution to that puzzle. And here I skipped 3 puzzles and go straight to the Beehive Puzzle solution. What you're supposed to do is grab a book, then you're supposed to find items, then you're supposed to put items in a book, and then you get the Beehive solution, but I skipped that. Alrighty, and now I am going to set that thing. Now if you're really, really fast, you can back away from the screen before that little dialogue box pops up. But I was not fast enough there. It's like split-second timing. And I'm going to be skipping a lot of puzzles, but I want to talk about split-second timing here. Here I'm solving a puzzle without seeing the solution, so I save time by not seeing the solution. I skipped the marble puzzle. The gem puzzle in this room, I also skipped that, and this is another repeat the pattern puzzle. Okay, so about like split-second timing, you'll notice there's a skip puzzle button at the bottom of the screen. What you're supposed to do is wait for the skip puzzle button to load, and then you click on it, and you get a dialog box that says, do you want to skip the puzzle? If you skip the puzzle, they will add 10 minutes of time to your final score. So obviously, it's not a good idea to skip the puzzle in a speedrun, but here's a trick you can do. If you double-click on the skip puzzle button, and again, this requires like split-second timing, if you double-click on it, the game will assume that you've done it twice. So what you do is the first time you say, yes, I will skip the puzzle, and then the second time you say, no, I won't skip the puzzle. So that's a time saver in that it will skip the puzzle, but it won't give you the 10-second penalty. The 10-minute penalty. Sorry, not 10-second. 10-minute penalty. So that's a really cool trick. That's a really cool trick, and it's a really good skip. Unfortunately, you'll notice that the skip puzzle meter is kind of slow, and it's always faster to solve the puzzles manually without skipping them. So it's a good trick. It will allow me to skip any puzzle without suffering a 10-minute penalty, but there's nowhere in the game that I can actually use that trick. Which brings me to the iOS version of the game. I wonder if that trick is possible in the iOS version of the game, because I am competing with the iOS, that's like the iPad version. iPhone, iPad. So the iOS version of the game has a different setup. So for example, the hint meter will fill up when you're looking at the journal in the iOS version, which is not the case here. Now, the in-game timer does not run while you're looking at the journal. So basically, that gives you free unlimited hints. Basically, you start the hint meter, then you look at the journal and wait for the hint meter to fill up all the way. And it takes you like about a minute in real time, obviously, but in in-game time, it takes you no time whatsoever because you were looking at your journal. And I've solved a bunch of puzzles. So in the background, you'll notice there is a jigsaw puzzle, stained glass window. What you're supposed to do is solve that puzzle, which gives you a solution to the knight's puzzle on the left, which gives you the solution to the knight's puzzle on the right. I skipped all of that. I also skipped the thing that tells you how to solve that prism puzzle. And back to the iOS version. The iOS version also, it has the score of every single person who's beaten the game. So that's how I know that there are only 2 other people in the world who have beaten this game in under 30 minutes. I can't pronounce their names, but, you know, one person beat it in 26:53, the other person in 28:48. So, that was basically my goal for this speedrun, was to beat those people who managed to beat the game in under 30 minutes. And I don't know if they used the skip I just talked about, the iOS-only skip of, you know, just filling the hint meter without wasting any time. This key puzzle is really difficult because of the overlapping things. Oh, I got really lucky there. It's also difficult because yeah. You see right there when I clicked on the blue and it thought I clicked on the orange because those two keys were overlapping. That basically happens all the time in these overlapping puzzles. You know, the catch the overlapping thing puzzles. You'll see it much later on in the game. Not much later on, not too much later on, but later on with the beetles. And it's just, the overlapping stuff is really, really difficult. And this is a gem puzzle. We had two of them earlier, but I skipped them. They were in the mirror room. So it's basically get rid of the gems as quickly as possible, and you need to get rid of them in a specific order. Basically, I tried to get rid of them in an order so I could just click on the bottom row as quickly as possible. Here, you just want to click on things the correct number of times. You're supposed to read his clue about it, but I skipped the clue. It'd be nice if you could, you know, skip talking to that goblin entirely, because you don't need his clue to solve the and put it in the save file folder. So this is a repeat the pattern puzzle. Like I said, the repeat the pattern puzzles in the second half of the game are really tough. If you make a mistake, they will force you to go back a turn, which is painful. But other than that, you know, the only thing in this segment is really just that painting puzzle, just that giant painting jigsaw puzzle. Everything else is just navigation. Navigation is kind of slow. You notice it takes about a second to go from place to place. Well, there's no way to get around that. And here I just quit. Now we have the goblin here. We have the final round of Goblin Zhang. And you'll notice that this time, or maybe you won't notice, but you have a lot more symbols on the board, whereas previously there were like 4 or so different symbols you got to play around with. Here there are like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10. So that makes this more difficult, and oftentimes I just had to reload because one of the symbols I needed was underneath another one. So here, I mean, obviously here I'm pretty lucky. That was my ideal time, but There were... Oh, no. Okay, so here we go. Here's the overlapping thing, and you'll notice... Oh my gosh, overlapping is killer. Ah, really? Like, that was an overlapping mistake. I did click on the correct bug, but the game interpreted it as the wrong one because, you know, the two bugs were overlapping. So even though that beetle thing could have been improved, the Mahjong was my fastest time by 14 seconds, believe it or not, so there's really no way I could have improved upon that. That was just a really good Goblin Zhang, so that's why I accepted this segment, even if the beetle thing wasn't perfect. Okay, I got another beetle from that bird, the pigeon we saw earlier. It's the Fairy Queen's messenger. And this is another room where you just have to wait a second for the fairy to appear. And now I talk to the goblin. Final segment! Final segment of the game. And this is just a jigsaw puzzle. This is basically, the jigsaw puzzle is the hardest part of the segment. We've got a couple of other things. And you'll notice we have pieces that are overlapping each other. We've got this piece in the middle of the board there, which is completely blocking my view of the board and making it really difficult for me to see. Let me move it out of the way. Oh, there were two pieces there. Huh, what do you know? So, yeah, most of the time with these jigsaw puzzles, you have pieces totally blocking your way and making it very difficult. And that's usually the biggest time waster. It might even be... I mean, it'd be a good strategy just to take the pieces and move them out of the way to make the jigsaw puzzle, you know, easier to do, but it doesn't make it faster. So who's this old guy in this picture? I played the other games in the series, and he just kind of doesn't ever show up again. I kept this scene just because, you know, this is the final segment of the run. Might as well keep the scene. We want to learn more about the Fairy Queen. Basically, you know, Fairy Queen and the goblins were here to protect baby Princess Sophia, and now it's been 100 years and she's woken up and she's finally going to break that, you know, that sleeping curse and get out of the castle. This is a little difficult. The area you need to click in is kind of difficult with the stars. In fact, throughout the entire game, you know, it's probably safest just to double click to make sure you don't accidentally misclick any items. And end game.
And that is how I found her. Princess.
So like I said, the other good times in this game, the current record was 26 minutes and 53 seconds on the iOS version. I have just made a new record. So what is my record? Yes, Fairy Queen, you're wonderful. Yes, we know. So my new record, the new record is 25:36. So that is a minute and 20 odd seconds faster than the previous record. Hooray, my speedrun's a success.